It's a grand old women's flag and the men's final 8 is finally set. Hello and welcome to Premier Cricket TV. My name is Megan Hustwaite. What a bumper finals edition we have for you today. 2 superstars joining us. The first one at the desk is a World Cup winner in netball in 1999. She's now the head of women's cricket at Cricket Victoria. Welcome, Sharelle McMahon.
Thank you very much, Megan. It's great to be here.
Great to have you here. Our next guest joining us on Zoom is also a World Cup winner in 1999. Cricket great Damien Fleming, now assistant coach at the finals-bound Casey South Melbourne. Hello, Flem.
Megan, Sharelle, how are you girls? I'm very excited.
That vest is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd be wearing it this time of year. We were hopeful of finals, but to get a double chance and finish fourth is incredible. But a big tick for the whole club really, from the board down, the coaching staff, and most of all, obviously the players.
Yeah, it's one of the top stories of the men's season, that's for sure. We're going to talk about the Bloods and their upcoming final this weekend against the Saints. But it is finals time. Of course, Melbourne have clean swept the Women's Premier competition, winning the under-18s, the third, second, and on Sunday, the first 11 decider. As we take a look at the match of the round now, Melbourne won by 6 wickets. The Betty Wilson medalist was Hayley Brennan with 32 not out and 3 for 17. A terrific story, Sharelle, because last season she played for both Melbourne and Box Hill, played in a losing one-day grand final for Box Hill, came back to the Albert Ground this season and was really the match winner for the D's on the last day of the summer.
Yeah, she really was. What a great performance by her, taking 3 wickets and 32 off 31. It was a really set them up very nicely, and what an incredible result it was for the Melbourne Cricket Club, taking out all 4 divisions, the under-18s and right through up to the Premier first. So big ticks on what they're doing, the program that they're running down at the Albert Ground.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a beautiful day for cricket and a wonderful atmosphere at the Albert Ground. Of course, Melbourne hosted there on Sunday. But let's talk about the decider more generally. Melbourne, as we know, went on to win their second first 11 title and a clean sweep of the women's competition. But Carlton, it was their first finals campaign in first 11 women's cricket, and it's a wonderful story for the Blues. Carlton Brunswick now coming into the Carlton Cricket Club program.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, been involved in the women's first for just a couple of years, and this was their first finals match actually, after unfortunately their semi-final got washed out the previous week. But great experience for those players coming in, and again, fantastic story for a young team within the Premier first coming through and getting an opportunity to give it a crack in the finals.
Well, they had a few teenagers in the team, a 14-year-old, which is hard to believe. But Sharelle, you've played elite sport at the highest level right around the world and experienced the highest of highs. How important can the grand final experience be for Carlton, despite the loss, and for young players and a club and program on the rise?
Yeah, incredibly important. I think any time that players can get an opportunity playing in pressure situations, it can help to develop those skills. So it can teach them how they respond under those pressure situations and learn how to cope the next time they go into it. And, you mentioned Sarah Kennedy is one of those really young players who's coming through our pathway, and she's doing some great things. And that experience for not only those individuals within that club, but the club as a whole is a massive thing. And being able to expose these players to more match opportunities as they come through at each level, right from when they start playing cricket right up to Premier Cricket and beyond, that is a real focus for us, and giving those match opportunities. So when they can be under real pressure situations like they were, I think it's great learning.
Yeah, an invaluable experience. Let's crack into our match of the round, and it is the women's first 11 grand final at the Albert Ground on Sunday. Well, Melbourne won the toss and elected to bowl first. The skipper, Tegan Parker, making that decision. And Ella Hayward grabbed the early wicket of Carlton captain Sophie Reid. And I know that was a highlight of the day for you, Sharelle. You're really happy with Ella's spell with the ball.
Absolutely. She's been doing some great stuff. Had the game up in Canberra during the week as well, and she bowled brilliantly up there too. And taking that early wicket was obviously a great one for Melbourne. Sophie Reid has been a great story for me too. Unfortunately, went out a little bit early in this match, but she's had some great form across the season.
So Carlton put together a few partnerships, but Melbourne were able to just keep taking those wickets. As the Carlton players were looking settled, Melbourne would strike. Napuni Hansika top scored for Carlton with a patient 42 from 119 balls. She looked to anchor the innings, but the reintroduction of Brennan and Haywood into the attack saw Carlton lose their last 7 wickets for 35 runs. Flem, your daughter Jasmine plays at Box Hill. They were runners-up last season, and you would have seen a lot of Hayley Brennan, and she was again the match winner on Sunday.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, 12 months ago, Box Hill actually upset Melbourne, the favourites in the semis. So the girls got to play in a grand final. But in the games I saw this year, Melbourne were clearly the best team. Just so much depth and great facilities as well. We were rain affected. A lot of the clubs just couldn't get on and have turf nets, but that's not a problem there at the Albert. My daughter Jasmine actually stopped playing after Christmas to focus on Year 12, and it's her draft year in football. So she certainly missed it and is keen to get back into it, depending if she gets drafted and when the women's football is on. But for Hayley, she's such an important player just because of her genuine all-round skills, a wicket taker, power hitter. So well done to her. She's got the premiership, and Melbourne are going to constantly be tough to beat. But the story, as you said, was Carlton coming in, virtually only been in for a couple of years and playing finals. I think for the girls that did play, I think that's going to bode well in the future, already having some grand final experience.
So Carlton batting first posted 135. It was always going to be a bit below par, that's for sure. A tough task for them, but Madison Elbers, she was the highlight with the ball, grabbing the early wicket of Ray O'Donnell. Steph Townsend, 41 from 70, controlled the run chase for the D's. Then Ella Haywood, 18, and Hayley Brennan, the player of the match, 32, not out, ensured that the scoreboard kept ticking over as Melbourne passed the total with 28 overs to spare and 6 wickets in hand to complete the clean sweep. And Tegan Parker, in her first season as captain coach, well, she did a terrific job with a very talented list. And I love this little fact too, Sharelle. Tegan Parker got married during the season. Amy Vine, their star player, got married on Friday.
She did.
So they've had 2 weddings and a flag, which I love. It's hard to, as both of you know, schedule in a wedding or even attend one during sporting seasons, but that's a fair effort to have 2 weddings and still win the title.
Definitely. What a year for all of those players. Lots of celebrating to be done down there in Melbourne. And you know, you mentioned Madison Albers there, and that early wicket of Rio O'Donnell, important one. She had made 60 off 60 in the semi-final, so she's coming in with some really good form. So it did give Carlton a chance. It set them up, as you say. Their total wasn't where they wanted it to be, but they gave themselves a chance. But it was just some good performances by Melbourne that got it done. Yeah,
a young star with the ball for Carlton, and what a great experience for her. To take wickets and be the key with the ball in that final, regardless of the result. I'm sure we'll see plenty more finals action for Albers and also the Carlton team to come next season and beyond. Let's have a look at our player of the week, and no surprises, as we mentioned, it's Hayley Brennan, who was named the Betty Wilson medalist for her outstanding performance in the final, and I caught up with her after the game.
Hayley Brennan is the Betty Wilson medalist for player of the final. Hayley, congratulations. You're a bit emotional in your acceptance speech, but I'm sure that just sums up what it means to you.
Yeah, this club is just absolutely incredible. I mean, you don't get 4 flags for no reason, and I'm just absolutely stoked to be back here.
Well, it was a big decision to come back. Of course, last season you spent some of the season at Melbourne and some at Box Hill. You played in a losing grand final 12 months ago, so you've been at both ends of the emotions, and I'm sure it would have been really satisfying to play a role today.
Yeah, obviously today is the best day all year, so without a doubt. And so honestly, to be out there is just an honour anyway, but to contribute and get these girls what they deserve is, massive for me as well.
Well, what you deserve as well, and it caps off an unbelievable summer for Melbourne. Under 18, third, second and now first 11 titles. It's a huge achievement by the club.
Yeah, this club is absolutely just incredible. Like, these girls are amazing, from the thirds all the way to the ones, to the girls who don't get picked, to the girls who came down on Thursday night to bowl at us just to give us that helping hand. Like, that's what this club's about, and that's why I love it so much.
Well, it's been an awesome season, a great way to end it today. Congratulations, Hayley. Go and enjoy the celebration.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So the
Hayley Brennan there, the Betty Wilson medalist for Melbourne. That was on Sunday at the Albert Ground. It was a long weekend here in Victoria, the Labor Day weekend, and it meant a long weekend of cricket. On Monday, it was the Dowling Shield final, and Ringwood Cricket Club 9 for 254 defeated Footscray, all out for 236. Ringwood's Isaac Macklin was named the player of the final for his outstanding performance. He scored 26 and captured the sensational figures of 5 for 47. It was a high standard match as well, and Flem, some stars on the rise as usual coming through the Dowling Shield.
It's great to see the Dowling back, isn't it? Playing in their own colours, singing their song, which the Ringwood boys would have done very, very loud. You'd imagine at least half a dozen of players from Footscray and Ringwood would be already playing in the lower 11s, and we'll be able to track them all the way through. So what a great experience. Finals. We know at Casey South Melbourne, we think it's so important to get them into our club culture, but then even for the kids that don't go on to have long careers at the club, when they go back to their local clubs, that they'll have fond memories of playing in the Dowling Shield. So well done for Ringwood, but we'll be watching those names in years to come.
Flem, you mentioned singing the song. It's some pretty tricky lyrics to learn for the Ringwood one. Is it one of the best songs going around in Premier Cricket?
Oh, to be honest, I don't really care. It's the Bloods. It's cheer, cheer, the red and the white, isn't it?
Ooh, we're very impartial here on Premier Cricket TV this week, aren't we? Let's crack in. We're going to talk about the Bloods, about time, but let's crack into the final round of the Premier Men's First 11 competition. It was a dramatic final round as we take a look at some of the results. Essendon defeated Melbourne University to grab 8th spot and an elimination final berth. And Sharelle, it was deja vu for Northcote.
Yeah, unfortunately, losing that last match of the normal round to not make it through was that would have hurt. That would have been a tough one for them.
2 summers running. Flem, let's talk about Casey South Melbourne claim the double chance with the win against Fitzroy Doncaster.
Yeah, certainly. So it's probably Casey and Essendon that they've really got on a roll to get themselves into the 8, and obviously us with the 4. But just having that confidence that we're in 4th place and we just needed to win to get the double chance was a real bonus going into that last game. But obviously Fitzroy Doncaster, a very dangerous team. And even when we thought we had them over, young Fletcher come in and I think he got 50 off 33 balls for Fitzroy. So all of a sudden they're ahead of the game. But what we've added some experience and depth. And probably last year we felt like statistically we were close to a say a 7th to 9th position, but we just had 5 bad overs with bat or ball, and we lose the close games. But this year we've been able to close it out, and when we've been top, we've got bonus points. And so big years for some youngsters: Ash Chandra Singh, Harish Cannon. And then even young Devlin Webb, 18-year-old we got from Frankston's been fantastic. But Rui and Schultz as recruits have been phenomenal. So it's added to the depth, it's added to the belief. So, we think we're a real show against St Kilda this week.
We'll talk about that a little bit more shortly. Also in the final round, Tom Donnell and Brett Forsyth added 147 for the first wicket in potentially the great opening partnership's last innings together. It makes my heart break. Against Greenvale Kangaroos, and Dean Russ, the seasoned veteran 76 not out led Footscray's chase against Northcote to see the Dogs finish 5th and host an elimination final. Let's take a look at the ladder after the final round of the season and heading into the first weekend, a very big weekend of finals action as we talked about last week. St Kilda minor premiers and club champions. Carlton in second, Melbourne third. Looking forward to that battle this weekend. Flem's Bloods in 4th place, followed by Footscray, Richmond, Geelong and Essendon. And as Sharelle said, Northcote sadly finishing 9th for a second consecutive summer.
Yeah, I suppose the big one there, girls, is Paran, who won it last year, not playing finals. So, you know, they're a terrific team. So it just shows the depth of Premier Cricket, that you've got to make sure, as I was talking before, those close games that you don't go on to win can hurt you, and also one-day cricket. You know, next year hopefully we're back to all 3 different formats. But yeah, exciting times for all the teams in the finals.
Yeah, it's very telling, isn't it? White ball cricket, as Flem said, 5 overs or even less than that can decide a game and even your season. Let's have a look at the highlights now from the weekend. There was plenty of them, and we'll start with Will Pucovski making 78 against Camberwell Magpies in his second game back from the concussion he suffered against South Australia. Flem, great to see him back at the crease doing what he does best. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think we're all feeling for Will Pucovski. We saw his potential on debut against India, you know, doing it pretty easy to score 60 odd, but it's been a tough road around that. So we're hoping he can get a really good run on it, because talent-wise, he's one of the great batting talents I've seen in my lifetime coming through for Victoria. But what a lovely guy as well. You know, we just want him to be able to enjoy his cricket. So good signs, runs straight away. He was opening up with Ash Chandra Singh in the second 11 and he missed out, but hopefully he can cash in today in the second innings.
Speaking of Ash, continued his run-scoring form whilst Jackson Fry set the tone with the ball to help Casey against Fitzroy Doncaster. And a must-win match for Essendon, and their big names all stood up. Michael Hill made 64 and Tom O'Donnell and Cam McClure with the ball really stood up as well against Melbourne Uni. And then Ash Armstrong tore through the top order of Northcote, and Dean Russ continued his good season as Footscray locked in a home elimination final. So we take a look at the rest of the highlights there.
Yeah, and Dean Russ is important for Footscray, isn't it? You know, just his experience, years in Premier Cricket, getting him home in a big game. Northcote are a good team. I mean, Paran, these teams that have missed the 8, once again, just going back to how strong the competition is, and how when you've got momentum, you've got to take it there. And Essendon are dangerous. You know, Tom O'Donnell doing a great job, you know, getting wickets. You know, McClure, what a bonus. I think he'll take his state experience into Premier Cricket, depending on how many games they can play. So, you know, they'll expect to go deep in this final series.
Well, we love Woolworths Cricket Blast here on Premier Cricket TV, so it's now time for this.
I bowl, I hit, I catch, that's it. Bowling, smashing with the bat too. Smash. Woolworths Cricket Blast is for the whole crew. I bowl, I hit, I catch, cricket.
Oh, that's going to be stuck in your head all day, and we're not mad about it. Flem, where did it all start for you in your junior cricket?
Well, from Springvale South, so they're a pretty dominant team still in the DDCA. Warren Ayres, a few years older than me, he started there as well, and we obviously played a lot of state cricket together, and then went through the Dowling Shield at South Melbourne and played some third 11 in that year, and then 2 years later we played the final, 87-88. So. You know, as a 17-year-old, so it happened pretty quickly for myself. But, you know, it's been some barren years for South Melbourne. I think this is the 3rd time we've made the finals since we've gone down to Casey. But we haven't gone too deep, so hopefully we'll change that this weekend.
Well, just on that, tell us a bit more about how you've come back to the club in the assistant coaching role. We love when people have been on their cricketing journeys and come back to Premier Cricket. I think all of our guests so far on the show, certainly from the male programs, have been involved at state level and come back to Premier Cricket. So what's it been like to go back to, I guess, where it all started?
Oh, it's been fantastic, and just going back at the start of last year. But really, I've had contact all the way through, mainly with the presidents, the late, great Ross Hibbins. I generally have a phone call with him at the end of the summer to see, particularly around the leadership, around the group, what we could do, and obviously the facilities, which, Casey Council have been fantastic. It's first-class facilities down there. We're getting our pavilion done so that the Melbourne Stars women can play there. We can have functions there. So really there's no complaints as a cricketer. They're first class. But really it was my son Braden stopped playing cricket, so I had Saturdays available. And unfortunately, I wanted to keep watching him play or play with him. But, he focused on footy. And then you mentioned my daughter Jasmine playing for Box Hill. That's Sunday anyway. So once I knew I could commit to one training a week, and then also virtually all day Saturday, if it's the ones or the twos, I put my hand up to get down there. And it's been great. They already had a great coaching staff anyway, with Brian Keogh was the coach. Will Carr was assistant last year. And then we got Bart and Sammy, the batting coaches. So, we feel like we've added to the coaching group. Beeks and obviously Kari have reversed roles. And, that's been great experience for Will Carr, and he stepped up there. But there's something about, as all the ex-players will say, there's something when it's your club, that's where your heart lies. So, as I said, we're optimistic about finals this year, but we felt like we had to take every opportunity. But we dropped a couple of games against Geelong and Richmond, and we really could have gone either way. And then we won well, got bonus points, and momentum's gone our way ever since.
Well, Sharelle, you're now in administration with Cricket Victoria, as we touched on, but you know what it's like for Flem. You just can't keep away because you were coaching at the Vixens, of course, and who wants or needs a free weekend?
No, that's right. You don't need that, do you? We just want to fill it with sport, and it's great to see past players doing that, and certainly on the women's side of things, we're trying to find ways to encourage that to happen too from the players that are moving through, and it's great hearing Flem talk about his experiences with junior cricket coming through. My kids are young and they've both started playing, both Xavier and Ruby. And for me, in the role that I hold at Cricket Victoria, we're looking really strongly at the moment of the overarching female strategy that sits right across from when the kids enter cricket right through to hopefully when they go through to play for the WNCL for Victoria. And Premier Cricket is obviously an incredibly important part of that pathway. And that's a really exciting thing for me to be involved in and for the rest of the cricketing community to be involved in, to make sure that every step along the way is really connected and providing opportunities for great experience for women and girls to play cricket, but also those ones that have those aspirations to take it further, that pathway really is there for them.
Well, we talk about past greats being involved in Premier Cricket. We saw it on Sunday at the Albert Ground. Karen Rolton, one of the best ever to do it for Australia, involved with the D's. So we love to see that. We want to see more of it. That is for sure. Okay, it's time to get into our Kookaburra top knocks for the weekend. Well, Flem mentioned Paran and Lachlan Bangs. He's continued to make a bit of a bang again this season. But yeah, Paran not in finals this season after winning the title last year. It just goes to show how tough the white ball game is.
Now, he's certainly got some power bangs. I think he opened up against us in the first game and didn't get going, but you see there's some explosiveness and with the ball and in the field. So he'll be hoping for more consistency next summer like that. And I think they've still got the actual group that can go win it like they did last year. They're Paran, so they've just got to make sure they got the role definition right. And as I kept saying, get back into that winning mentality, and you can go all the way like they did last summer.
So Bangs made 115 not out off 89, 8 fours and 7 sixes against Kingston Hawthorn as we take a look at Geelong's Liam Blackford, who finished agonisingly close to his maiden first 11 century with 97 not out of 95. However, his innings helped ensure Geelong locked away a finals berth with a win against Frankston Peninsula, and as we know, team comes first.
It won't be. He'll be getting 100 very soon, Liam Blackford. He's an amazing talent. So once he breaks it, I think he's going to make a lot and push for higher honours. And Geelong, exciting. They got young Ollie Peake there too, still at school. They got plenty of depth coming through Geelong.
Tom Rogers, 898, top of the run scoring list after the home and away season. Hayden Butterworth on 780. And Harry Smythe are coming into finals this weekend, as well as Jack Harper from the D's. Let's take a look at our best bowlers from the weekend, and we'll start with Cam McClure from the Bombers, 4 for 20, propelling the Bombers to an elimination finals berth. Tom O'Donnell, 4 for 19, so they were the destroyers with the ball for the Bombers against Melbourne Uni.
And they complement each other well, don't they? McClure, right hand, Tom O'Donnell, left hand. So wickets early on, particularly in 50-over cricket, you get 3 in that first 10 overs, you go on. And like that first wicket from McClure, just challenging the outside edge.
And we'll take a look at Kieran Elliott from the D's. He made it back-to-back 4-wicket hauls, 4 for 19. His figures for the Demons against the Camberwell Magpies.
Elliott was really impressive. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was going to say, never short of a good bowler down at the Albert Ground, the D's.
When we played them, they whacked us early in the year. And Elliott, I think, got 3 or 4 for 15, bowling into a big breeze. First time I'd really had a look at him. See, he's got a game for Victoria now. But, they just had press switch and co. A lot of depth there at Melbourne. Pressure for spots.
As we take a look at Mitch Perry, he captured a 5-wicket haul, 5 for 28, which ensured the Tigers' match against the Blues finished a lot tighter than expected, and both sides' finals bound this weekend, so a really good way to warm things up. And we've got a Casey South Melbourne spinner at the top of the wicket-taking list, Flem.
Yes, Rui. He's in his absolute gun. True all-rounder as well. He hits the ball hard. He's brilliant in the field, but he was changing games in pre-season and he continued to do it throughout. So hopefully he's dominant in the finals and higher honours beckons for Rui.
Let's talk about the finals. It all kicks off this weekend in the men's competition. We've got finals Saturday and Sunday. We've got a top 4 and a double chance in the comp this year, which is wonderful to see, particularly in white ball cricket. So let's get into St Kilda and Casey South Melbourne. We could spend 25 minutes on this, Flem, but we might spend a little bit less than that. But what an awesome opportunity it is for Casey here against St Kilda, club champions and also minor premiers. This is going to be a cracker at the City Power Centre.
Yeah, why not take on the best and beat the best, depending on how many Victorian players the St Kilda team have coming out of a Shield game. But, we want to play in full strength. Just saw a name lower there. Michael Wallace is our captain, and he's done a superb job for the last couple of years. Even this year, they're at the start with no injuries, going to float in the middle order. And we had injuries and he's gone to number 3 and had his best year. So, he's been very important for his on-field leadership with the bowlers and fielding. But there at number 3, it's a key position. But St Kilda, they've just got so many stars. And don't we love what Adam Crosswaite has done for St Kilda and the competition? Coming back, he's probably in his mid-late 30s now. He's so passionate, but he's still a match winner for them. isn't he? So Crossy is going to be a dominant player in this final series, and hopefully we can knock him over early.
They call him the king, and we can see why. We might just take another look at the graphic with the finals for Saturday. So St Kilda and Casey South Melbourne, as we mentioned at the City Power Centre. Gee, I'm looking forward to this one. Carlton and Melbourne at Princes Park in the other qualifying final. And then we've got Footscray and Essendon in the elimination final, and Richmond and Geelong. Carlton and Melbourne, two very proud, successful clubs going at it. Sharelle, they did in the women's decider, and they're vying for a place in the preliminary final here. Yeah,
absolutely. Great rivalry between those two clubs, and it'll be amazing to see the men get out there and strut their stuff and see whether they can follow in the shoes of the Melbourne girls.
So the winners of the qualifying finals on Saturday advance through to next week's preliminary finals, but we have a bumper weekend of cricket. We've got the semi-finals on Sunday, Flem, and we love just a big weekend of it. So if you can win in your elimination final, you get a crack at the losers of the qualifying final on Sunday. Do you like that setup?
Oh, I do, and hopefully we're watching the opposition teams on Sunday that we've gone straight through. But tell you what, even looking at those elimination finals, there's good teams.
Yeah.
This is a cracking final series. But no, like the structure, 1 versus 4, 2, 3, double chance, and back to back. I mean, it's only one day cricket. In the past, we play Saturday and Sundays 2-day cricket. So, and for the teams that win Saturday, they'll feel like they've got a bit of momentum, even though they're playing a team that finished above them on the ladder on Sunday.
It's all about momentum, that's for sure. Well, Flem, we'll let you get back to, I don't know, what do you do? Put out crystals, read the tea leaves, pray, do, anti-rain dances, whatever you've got to do ahead of this weekend.
I've got coaching. I've got to plan some coaching tonight. Coaching. So great to have a chat, girls. Exciting. Well done to Melbourne in the women's dominant. They're setting themselves a high bar. And, that's something we're trying to do with our men's program. At Casey South Melbourne, and a great start to that. And also we want to get a women's team down there as well. We're going to have the facilities, big catchment area.
Sharelle's nodding.
So hopefully we're talking about, the Casey South Melbourne women's team in the near future. But good luck to all the teams, but especially to the Bloods. Cheer, cheer. Red and the white.
Damien Fleming achieved and won it all in his legendary cricket career, but his most important title yet is assistant coach of Casey South Melbourne. We appreciate his time today. Sharelle, great to have you at the desk. Please come back again.
Thank you. I will do. It's an exciting time for the women's program as well. Obviously, wrapping up Premier Cricket, which has been great. We've got the Under-19 Nationals coming up in Adelaide in just a couple of weeks' time, where we'll see a huge amount of the talent that's been playing through Premier Cricket take the field there, which will be great. And of course, we're heading out to Dandenong, to Shepley Oval for the WNCL game on Thursday. Yeah, so that'll be another great one. So heaps happening.
The action never stops. Thank you for joining us on Premier Cricket TV. Good luck to all the teams in finals this weekend, and we'll see you next week.